Hi everyone, welcome to the Practical Gardener. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about this beautiful flowering plant. You probably know it by different names called paper flowers or Bougainvillea. So it's a beautiful tropical vine, and in here I'm growing it in the balcony. I also have a bunch of Bougainvillea on the ground as well. But these two that I've grown in pots, I can see more flowers than leaves in these. And even the leaves on this are quite nice. They are variegated green and yellow leaves. And you can see the entire plant is full of Bougainvillea blooms. Okay. So technically, as I said, these blooms or these flowers are called bracts, and the actual bloom is this white thing that you see here, right? So this is actually a leaf like bract, B-R-A-C-T, and they are like leaves themselves, but the entire thing, when you call it, you just call it Bougainvillea in bloom, right? And because this bract is so papery to the texture, to the touch, these are also called paper flowers. Now I haven't been doing much for this plant except for every few weeks I give it some compost topping, or very recently, about a couple of weeks back, I added some banana peel powder into the potting mix. Otherwise there's nothing else I'm doing. The only thing that this plant is getting a lot of is sunlight, and it gets a good 6 hours of full sun, and that's the only thing, that's the only difference that I've seen, where so many blooms and it looks absolutely beautiful. When you see it from far, it looks just like, just a full pink bush, and you can hardly see any leaves at all. Now, I mean, of course, based on some of these results, one is the Bougainvillea loves sunlight, right? It requires a good 6 to 8 hours of sun. The more sun, the better for Bougainvillea. At the same time, it likes not being too soggy when it comes to watering. But what I normally do is every month or so, I give it a very deep watering. So first I fertilize it. I kind of put some good compost, or even like banana peel powder. You can use bone meal, etc. Some good fertilizer, and then I deep water the plant till all the till literally the water comes down, gushes down. And after that I forget about it. I don't really keep watering it every day. So the plant goes through dry spells between waterings, and that's fine. I think little bit of stress is also probably helpful for the flowering. So that's what that's how I've been doing. And one of the reasons for that is because it's here in the balcony, you don't remember to water it every day. It's not part of my regular, it's not connected to the drip here, so I have to come and water it. So, and half the times I keep forgetting, so whenever I remember, and of course it's not like, I mean, I water it every maybe once or twice a week, but very lightly, maybe just a mug of water, that's it. But deep watering you have to do about once a month after you fertilize it. Okay, so that's one of the ways that I can think of, because a lot of people are asking me what are the tips for growing these so many flowers. So I'm just kind of, based on what I have done, this plant is actually thriving on neglect, but I think there are certain things that I've done, like fertilizing it often, and deep watering it, etc. That has helped. Now, in terms of soil, Bougainvillea is not very fussy about very rich soil, etc. But of course, if you give it a well draining rich soil, it is always good. No, the plant will not get negatively impacted if you give it fertile soil. But that said, it's not very fussy about it has to be extremely fertile soil, etc. You can manage with the soil that you have, just and with the regular garden soil. Only thing that you need to ensure is that it's not, the soil doesn't get too hard and clay. There is some, like it should be well draining, so that even when you deep water it, etc., and top up, I top up with compost or top up with fertilizer. So that's important for any plant, especially for a potted plant. Okay, so since it is in potted plant, there is no other nutrition that it can pick up from the ground or the soil. So it's important that you top up with additional nutrition into the pot, and do that when you are deep watering the plant. Okay, so that this is primarily it. In terms of temperatures, it does well in temperate climates. This is not this is a tropical vine, right? So it can kind of climb up or even climb down. The intention of growing it here in the balcony is that over the years I wanted to kind of trail down with this beautiful pink bunch blob of Bougainvillea trailing down from the balcony, and or you can even put it in the ground or in the ground and then allow it to climb up. So there are two ways you can do this. So in my case, I wanted them to trail down from the balcony. These plants really can do well with a good prune. So don't keep pruning it all the time, but whenever especially towards the autumn. Now maybe in another, see how beautifully they are shaking in the breeze. Okay, so now that it's in full bloom, I'm not going to do any pruning. But once the flowers start shedding, and then I'll give it a good pruning till it gets ready for its next blooming season, which should not be blooming much in winter. That is, right now we are in October, so I'm not expecting too many blooms in November and December, and then it'll go through a dormant cycle, and then again it'll start perking up in spring. That's the whole idea. But when it is not in bloom, you don't need to give it too much of, or when it's not the growing season, you don't need to give it too much of water, etc. Preserve all of the fuss and the pampering of the plant during the growing season. When it's not growing, you can just give it enough to keep it happy, but you don't need to fertilize it, etc., especially if in winter, etc., when it is not growing. Okay, so this is about Bougainvillea. It's a pretty easy plant to grow, and I have been extremely lucky with this one. I find it beautiful, and I think it's been very, very rewarding for me without going into too much of pampering. It's an absolute non-fussy plant, and very pest resistant as well. You don't need to spray any pesticides. I have done nothing special for this plant except for deep watering it and fertilizing when I'm deep watering. And even with fertilizers, I just use my natural compost or banana peel powder. You can use eggshells, things like that. You don't really need to resort to any chemical fertilizers as well. So I hope you can grow Bougainvillea as well, that they come in assortment of colors. So find something that you like, and these can be extremely wonderful plants that you can grow. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.